What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about the success that Twisted Metal has had. We've seen some stats, or we've gotten some stats, and I think it honestly increases the probability that we get, say, a season 2. Obviously, we still have the strikes to deal with, and a few days ago, maybe it was about a week ago, we talked about the showrunner talking about, hey, we want to do a season 2, but at the same time, we don't know, one way or the other. The strikes have to resolve themselves first, and then I'm sure they would start to have the discussions for another season. But I think this is a very, very good sign. So this came out on Wednesday, and it was just a couple statistics. We'll read through them. But Twisted Metal sets audience record for Peacock comedies, earns spot among streamers' top original series. Now, you have some like cherry picking stats. When you do streaming stuff, it's always a little silly, I think, when they talk about watch hours, right? They don't do views or anything like that, but they do watch hours. And, something like this, it's at the top for comedies, it's at the top for originals. Is it like mega successful? I don't know. Ultimately, only like actually, that's a whole thing with this strike, right? Is nobody really communicates if these things do well, if they get subscribers, if they're making a lot of money from these shows. No one really knows except for probably a handful of people at the top of these streamers. But regardless, let's go over some of the stats. So one of them is about binging, and this is pretty interesting. So according to NBC Universal, the average account watched about 3 episodes of the show per sitting, with some opting to knock out all 10 in a single viewing window. Funny story, I did that. I did all 10 episodes. I'd never exited. I never logged off the account to log back in, so I think my average, or I would help the average of 10, but that's pretty good. 10 episodes, well, again, some people did do the whole 10, but even just 3, I mean, we know people with their short attention spans nowadays, 3 episodes in one go as the average. That is pretty, so there's probably some that did 5, 6, 7, maybe a couple that did, 1, 2, 3, but that's pretty darn good. And then they say it's joined the ranks of Bel Air, The Best Man, Final Chapters, Poker Face, and Based on a True Story as one of Peacock's top 5 original series launched to date. It also drew in 400 million viewing minutes in the weekend following its July 27th premiere, making it one of the week's most watched streaming originals. And I think that's like in general, based off of all shows, like if you compare it to Witcher and stuff, I think that's kind of handled, maybe it's like Nielsen or something, they do that. So that's maybe the most important one, because you're taking it and you're looking at Twisted Metal compared to, I don't know, The Witcher, or whatever's popular on these, the HBOs of the world and the Netflixes of the world. But that's extremely good. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know like 3 of those 5 shows that were, Peacock original shows that were doing so well. I don't know if they ever got like season 2s, but if you put yourself in like a top 5 situation, if you put yourself at the top of the list for like the most watched streaming show on a weekend, and the show, didn't it come out on like a Thursday or something? So I assume a lot of people probably watched it that Thursday, Friday, and then you also had the weekend numbers. That is what the reporting is on. So I have a feeling this show did extremely well, which, can we just take a second to say, like, thank God? Obviously I want a season 2. I think a lot of people want a season 2. My main concern as I was watching the show was, okay, are people going to like tune in? Because the trailers, I don't think did a good job of showing what the show was going to be. Twisted Metal is kind of like a deeper-ish cut. Like it became, I don't know, the gaming franchise back in like, 95 for Twisted Metal, 96, I think, for Twisted Metal 2. Like it did do really, really well. They sold a lot of millions of units through Twisted Metal Black and all this stuff, but the series has really been dormant for a very, very long time. The last one was 11 or so years ago. There might be a new game coming out very soon, but it just doesn't seem like a franchise that's going to pop off. So my worry was, oh shoot, this show is actually really good. And in some ways, I liked it way more than even The Last of Us show. And it's like, can we get a season 2? But is there going to be an audience? Seems like, honestly, I think word of mouth. Word of mouth is very, very powerful. And I do believe that first day, just all of the tweets, all the YouTube videos, all the discussion online saying, brace yourself, the show's actually good. It is surprisingly good, and you're going to have a blast with it. I think that went a long, and then, well, not even just that. Then people watched it, say like that day, next day, day after, and they loved it. And then the word of mouth kept spreading. So it's a really cool story. Like, I'm really happy that it happened to this series and this show. And again, we're going to have to wait whenever in God's name, this strike stuff is over. But I have a feeling based off of even this stuff, these aren't data things that you like let go. You say, oh, that was cool, and we clearly set it up for a season 2, but we're not going to pursue that. We're not going to no, they're going to do a season 2, right? I'd imagine Peacock wants it, and then all you have to do is, get everybody back together. So a little waiting is probably still required, but this is definitely a good sign for more of this show. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next video.